Hello, my name is Staff Sergeant Kazul. Today we'll be talking about the artillery computer on the Mark 6 mortar. First off, we'll start with it already assembled. Only thing you have to do is run up to the mortar system itself, scroll wheel, get in the Mark 6 mortar as gunner, interact on it, and you are in the gun. Here you can rotate 360 degrees, just like so. If you right click, it'll bring you into the mortar sight, and if you left click from here, it'll fire around, just like so, just like that. So you want to avoid doing that until you're ready to fire here. But if I right click again, it'll bring me right back out. Wait for that round to impact real fast. There it goes. To get into the artillery computer, only thing you have to do is scroll wheel. Down at the bottom, or the up left hand corner of the screen, you'll see it there, say artillery computer. Go ahead and select it, and you'll notice here that you have an artillery computer. Zoom all the way out here, you can see that you got the entire map. This is currently the insurgency map, so that's the reason for all the red and the greens there. Notice you have a blue circle here, that is your minimum range, and a bigger blue circle here, that's your maximum range. If I click anywhere in between here, it'll give me the option to fire. So I'm going to go ahead and click back here on the beach line. Notice down at the bottom my compass moving. That is the gun actually rotating. And notice whenever I click on the map, you'll see distance right here, the 222. It's 220 meters. 1 round, ETA 13 seconds flight time. That stuff is also represented over here. There's your flight time here, ETA, spread of the rounds. So that means each round will hit randomly 26 meters. That's how much ammo I have loaded in right now. Burst is your rate of fire. It's a mortar, so you get 1 round. And this is the grid you're firing at, the distance, minimum distance, maximum distance you could fire, direction, and altitude. So if I go up here, you see this mode. This is the, let me start at the top. Mark 6 mortar is the weapon I'm using. This is that fire button. Click that, it'll also fire. Also know that here in the artillery computer, if you hit spacebar and you have a grid you can shoot at, it will fire. It won't fire if I click outside the range. See how it says cannot fire? I can hit spacebar all day long and it won't do anything. So just be weary of that. If I click on mode here, go to semi-medium. Notice the big blue circle got bigger, and my minimum circle got bigger as well. So now I can click all the way out to here, and notice my flight times change. 24 seconds. There's my distance 1679, and notice on the left, on the right, you notice all that information changing. That's the grid, the distance, altitude, direction, everything you need to know right there. Again, you can switch it to far, and it goes out even further. Now notice I cannot shoot inside here, because that is too close. So go ahead and switch that back to semi-close, so the circle gets nice and small. And this here is your type. That's a HE mortar shell, high explosives. Also have flare and smoke. Select flare, it'll go through a reload process. Once that's finished, the fire button will come back white. And again with the smoke shells, grays out means you cannot fire. It's reloading at the moment. And it's white, I can fire. Go and switch back to HE shells. And there we go right there. Okay, and that's pretty much how the artillery computer works for any of the artillery systems. I'm going to show you how to assemble a mortar in a second and get to here from a backpack. Back out of here. Alrighty, if you notice here, I have 2 packbacks on the ground. 2 backpacks. And if you go here and scroll wheel, it'll say take folded mortar Mark 6 bipod green NATO. Go ahead and pick that up, it'll throw it on your back. Now if I go over to the other backpack that's laying on the ground, scroll wheel, I get the option to assemble Mark 6 mortar. If I select it, And there it is right there. Run up to it, scroll wheel, get into mortar as a gunner, scroll wheel, artillery computer, select what I want to shoot at, and notice my mouse up here. I can fire this way, just like that, or I can fire with the space like so. Back out of here, and notice these lines here, that's your flight times. When it hits 0, that means the round will splash and you'll hear it. Splash. And splash. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and fire a couple more rounds. Notice I'm using the space bar. ETA flight time 5 more seconds. Go ahead and get out of this. And you'll notice the rounds will impact right over there. There's a hill right there, so you might not actually be able to see. And shrapnel comes all the way over here. But that is exactly how you would use the artillery computer for the Mark 6 mortar. And I'll show you how it works on these as well. If you run over here, notice the only thing I do is scroll wheel, get into M119A2 as gunner. It'll get in as gunner, and I can spin the gun. Scroll wheel again, artillery computer, brings it right back up. Now notice these have a much larger circles because they shoot a lot further distances. This is the 105. If I go out to medium, I can hit half the map from here. And if I go to far, I can hit the entire map from here, just like so. But my minimum distance is a lot larger. And again, you have the round types, illumination, smoke. Each system will have different round types, and I'll show you in the Paladin right after this. Okay, go ahead and get out of here. Go ahead and move over to a Paladin real fast, and I'll show you how it works. Now some systems will have different positions, like these has a driver, commander seat, and a gunner. You have to be on the correct side of the turret to get in as a gunner. Go ahead and get in as the gunner. Again, I'll just scroll wheel all the way to the bottom. Artillery computer. There we are here. Minimum distance, maximum distance for the mode we have. If I go medium, again it gets bigger. Far gets even bigger. And this one has a further and extreme. If I go to extreme, I can't even think about hitting the map because the minimum distance is way too. I can click anywhere on the map and it won't let me fire. But if I go to, say, medium, I can fire out here. That's 4,339 meters, 1 round, flight time 43 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and fire off a round or two just so get the blue lines coming back up. So I'm going to fire one here, and I'm going to move and fire another one. There's one round going there, and you'll see the blue lines start to draw, and a countdown for the splash. Now I'm going to move it over here. Fire another round, and you'll see the second line start to draw. Move it down here. Wait for the round to reload. Fire another one, and you'll see all 3 rounds flying through the air with different flight times and different impact times. So that's about how that works. Wait for these to splash. You can hear them hitting in the background. And notice if you get out of the artillery computer and go back in, you lose your data on the rounds that are in flight. So be wary of that as well. So this pretty much sums it up, how to use the artillery computer in Arma 3. This is how we do our firing as of right now. We're looking at alternate ways of firing, but that's how you use the artillery computer. It's that simple. Thanks, guys.